Good evening, welcome to the program. My name is Catherine Mwangi. This is What's Your Story right here in Watamu, Kilifi County. We are at the Turtle Bay Beach Club, speaking to none other than the man who runs the show here, of course, with his team, Mr. Damian Davies.
Hi.
Thank you for hosting us, by the way. This is you
Watamu.
hosting us. You have a beautiful property here. Tell me about it.
Well, it's very lucky to be here myself, running an operation like this. It's Turtle Bay Beach Club, all-inclusive hotel based on the gorgeous Indian Ocean coast in the centre of a marine park. So I couldn't want for a better place to run a business.
Yeah.
Really.
So you're on holiday every day, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what everybody tells me.
Great. So what facilities do you have here?
We've got about 150 rooms. We have a water sports centre. We have 2 pools, one for a quieter pool for adults who don't want lots of children around. Lovely big free-plan pool for the other children, for the rest of the families. Gorgeous beachfront settings, so you can sit on your sunbed on the beach with the pool behind you, or just go in the big pool that is the Indian Ocean.
Turtles?
Yes, lots of.
Really?
And the reason why the area is called Turtle Bay is originally because there's a big rock which is shaped like a turtle, but we have turtles nesting on this beach throughout the year. It's amazing.
So even now we can see them?
This time of year we're coming up to nesting season, but it's a cyclical thing, but it's amazing.
So hence the name.
Turtle Bay, yeah.
Oh, I didn't think there were. I didn't
It's
think
amazing.
there were
And then there's various projects that support the nurturing of these nesting cycles. So
how many staff do you take care of?
we have approximately 150 staff.
Oh, wow.
But more than that when you add on ancillary staff on top of the main sort of people that run the functional side of the hotel.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so before we come to how you practically and actually run it, let's go to your background.
Yeah.
Where did all this start?
Where did it all start? Well, as a child, I was part of a very large family, 6 children. In the UK, that's quite large. And as a consequence, we never went to hotels. So I was always in a bit of awe about these things called hotels. And I always thought I'd love to go and see inside one of these days. But I realised quite early on I was only going to get to do that by working in one. And then by default, I got involved in waiting, working in hotels, chefing. And then it slowly evolved. And I ended up having worked in the industry, going back and getting a degree in it, and then going into hotel management that way.
So you first tried it, then went to school for it, and then came out to do it.
Worked it as a part-time job in order to earn some pocket money, and then enjoyed it, and then thought I could do this, and this would be a fun way to earn a living.
Yeah.
And, I found it very exciting, and it's like a big. It's a bit like a soap opera. Everything's going on. There's the back of house staff. There's the front of house staff. I found the whole thing very fascinating.
Yeah. So and you did that when you were a child.
Started when I was 15, 16 in hotels, and then went all the way through. Yeah.
So you must have been one of the lucky few who know what they want to do when they're that young.
Yeah, I suppose, yes.
You didn't have any influences from.
And I think I wasn't clever enough to be a doctor, so I think the decision was made partly for me.
Are you the only hotelier in your family?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your childhood growing up.
Well, one of 6 children. There was 3 brothers, 3 sisters. Good family planning.
Oh, good balance.
And we all grew up in the centre of Birmingham, which is a big industrial city. And we were very much a unit, because when you've got a large family, you tend to hang out together.
Yeah.
And some have gone on to be doctors, lawyers, and I was the slightly black sheep of the family. I came along, and I was didn't get into the highly qualified stuff, but I really enjoyed what I did, and so carried on with it.
Childhood memories?
Oh, playing sport. I mean, running around. I mean, you can't go on too much to children about it, but those days when you used to run out of the house and just go for hours playing in open spaces, which are probably not very healthy spaces, old sort of building sites and stuff, but having fun and making your own adventures.
Yeah.
Not everything linked around some piece of
some
equipment or digital social media.
Yes.
So very halcyon memories of what I grew up with. And I think it was very beneficial. I mean, you did a lot of physical time, physical exercise, a lot of sport. So enjoyed that.
So you enjoyed to date?
To date, yeah. Some to my to my detriment. Yeah.
Okay, and then so how did Kenya come about?
Whilst I was studying at university, I met some people from Kenya who were at the university in Cardiff in Wales, and I got talking to them, and when I went on to work in London, they used to come in and visit me when they were over in the UK. So they all said, "Oh, when you get time, you've got to come to Kenya. It's an amazing place." And so I said, "Yeah." You always say, "Yeah." And then one year, I was between jobs with a company, and they said, "You got to come." So I thought, "Why not?" Grabbed a Kenya Airways flight and just came out, and that was to Watamu, funnily enough. And I got to say, I fell in love with it almost instantly. Not just the beauty of the space, but from the entry to the country, the people, the sort of. I mean, it sounds like a bit corny, but it is from day one, the people, and minute one, the people just sort of engulfed you and made you feel so welcome here. So, and I was very fortunate then to eventually get involved in a business because someone was looking for an F&B manager for a hotel in the same area, and he happened to be in the town at the same time.
Oh, wow.
It was a real sort of confluence of coincidences, and it was a great opportunity, one which I had to embrace because I wasn't getting another one like this. And for me, my job was so much more, because I did a lot of training in London, and it was training people to be nice. So honestly, it sounds crazy.
What do you mean?
Well, training people in an industry, the hospitality industry, to say, can I help you anymore? Can I do this? You're having to tell people, because culturally, a lot of them are not naturally hospitable.
Yes.
And you probably experienced this when you've been overseas.
Yeah.
The Americans sort of have a nice day, but actually saying, and can I get you anything else? And you were constantly training people to this and how to do it.
Yeah.
Here, 80% of my training was done.
DNA.
It's in the DNA, yeah, and it makes life so. And you know your client is going to get that feeling from the people, irrespective of what's being delivered. It's just such an easy way to work, and from day one, that was continued to be my experience, and still, 30 years down the line, it still is.
You didn't go back.
No.
Not even to say goodbye.
Sadly to my mum, but no, they're still going strong. But I thought it was going to be a few-year contract, but it just never. The opportunity or the reason to return never happened. I did at one stage think I was going to go back, then got offered work elsewhere and went there. So kept me in Kenya.
Yeah.
I did spend a couple of years out of Kenya in Tanzania.
Oh, how was that?
I was always looking to come home.
Oh, is it? Why?
I didn't find it as easy a place, and the people weren't quite the same. Nothing.
Oh,
no offense,
really? How different are we?
It's a much more ingratiating people here. There's a lot more. I found it a much happier place to work here than there.
than Tanzania.
Possibly it was cultural.
Maybe.
I don't know whether the regime there gave people a different attitude towards work and interaction. But we used to drive across the border to come on holidays here.
Yeah.
The kids would start singing as we crossed the border at Hora Hora and through to Lunga Lunga. So.
I've always imagined, actually the talk we have is, we in Kenya imagine the Tanzanians are warmer, nicer, kinder. I don't know. So it's good to have someone who's experienced both.
And also from a management perspective, working the productivity, the understanding of the job is so much better here.
Yeah.
It's to get people of that caliber in Tanzania is very difficult.
I think it has
possibly the level of training, but I think it's also a cultural thing here.
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
So let me just take you back a bit. I've missed out on a certain link. So you went to Cardiff, graduated, but you didn't come to Kenya immediately.
No. I was when I left university at that time in the UK. One of the main things for people to do hotels-wise was to go to training management programs. And at that time, there was a big drive by a lot of the fast food companies globally to try and attract management students into their businesses.
Okay.
And I was drawn by the slightly bigger dollar and the opportunity to train up to get what you call a license, which is once you've held a license, liquor license. So I joined one of those outfits called Pizza Hut UK Limited.
Oh,
and
Pizza
I worked
Hut,
with them for about 4 years, and I got my license. Became a manager, then went into implementations, and then was moving towards area management. And when I got the opportunity to come out here, I took the opportunity to come out here, and never looked back.
So when you came, it was just your friends saying, "Come."
come and
You
visit.
didn't know where you just
Didn't know anything. completely wet behind the ears. Very
risk
green.
taker. Hey.
No, it was lovely. I mean, my girlfriend wasn't that chuffed when I went back and said I might be going to work there.
Oh.
Didn't have my plans at that stage. Obviously, wouldn't have included her because we were just girlfriend and boyfriend.
Yeah.
But she happens to be my wife now and the mother of my 3 children. So
That's
we're all
amazing.
born here. So,
So that she came as well.
she came
when
in
you
about-
settled
I
down.
got here in '88. Started full time in '88. She came in '91. We got married in St John's over the road here in '93.
So it's like all the stars were aligned for you too.
No, absolutely, it's perfect.
That's amazing. So tell me about your family. You brought them up.
Well, all 3, the 2 girls were born in Mombasa when we were working. I was working at a neighbouring hotel, and they're born in the Aga Khan, and they went to school here. Then my son, I forgot what was causing it, and he was born in 2002, and he also went to school here. But then all the girls at 6th form level were lucky enough to get scholarships to go and study the artist, and her sister who's also got their own skill set, got the opportunity to go and work in get a school scholarship in the UK, and to a school that specialised in what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then my son followed them because he was quite good at sports. So,
Oh wow. So they're all
they then went there, but they all want to come back.
no.
They all want they focus on one day, Dad, I'm coming back. You know.
They know this.
They got a lot of friends here, and they went to school Poponi.
Yeah.
Poponi up in Ruiru,
Yes.
and so they all those friends they're very close to, so they meet up with them over there and over here whenever they come. So they want to get back.
So your nest is empty.
Right now, yeah.
You are so lucky.
I'm not. We've got one back at the moment because he's between school and hopefully going to university.
Ah, nice. So for you, from that family perspective and raising kids outside of what you'd call, but no, it's not outside because we're all born here anyway. So this is the culture
This is
they
home.
know.
Yeah.
So did you feel maybe it was important to teach them your culture, where you were born? No?
No, we have always been a very strong family, so we've always, whenever possible, brought family over here, taken them over there, because everybody's backgrounds, incomes are different. They've got cousins who are have a lot less than they've had, and it's important for them to understand that it's not all the same for everybody.
True.
Not everybody has the silver spoon, so they have a very privileged life here in so many ways, and even now they don't live in lovely places. They live in the centre of London, Peckham, and live and work there, and I think they've got a very balanced view on life.
Yeah.
And what it's like and what they have here, but it is but they still want to come back.
Yeah.
and they always talk about it.
Yeah.
And sadly, the last couple of years has been very limiting for them. One we've only seen for 8 days in the last 2 years because she's a teacher now.
Okay, so you left a neighboring hotel, the first gig
First
that
when I
you
worked
had
there.
here, yes?
And then I went to Tanzania for 2 years, which was a good experience.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it was everywhere's a learning curve.
Yeah.
And I was there for 2 years. Then, unfortunately, there were some financial issues with the ownership, so they went out of operation, and I came back, and that's when I joined Lonro, and that's when I had the hugely fortunate break of getting a job as the general manager at the Aberdare Country Club in the Ark, in a lovely part of the world that you know very well yourself, Waiganieri, and made some great friends up there, people I still in communication with now.
Yeah.
And loved the climate at the time. you
Yeah.
know, fires in the evening and all that sort of stuff. And spent 4 fantastic years there. Yeah.
You've been so lucky. I mean, the
very.
architecture there is amazing.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's still
yeah.
maintained today. I was there a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
It's still as
Yeah, that
beautiful.
old building, yeah, I
Oh,
love that,
it's
yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, COVID has hit everybody, and we were the only ones there. So, but it still is the way I remember it.
And it's gorgeous, those hills and everything. No, it's
Yes.
beautiful part of the world. Great climate.
Really cold.
Yeah. Yes. No.
Really
Yeah.
cold, but no, still beautiful. So what was your experience with the with my people.
Oh, great! No, I've got stuff. I said, still got some very good friends from there, from Mwega, Mahiga, that area that I met up there, and have some came down and worked with me down here at the coast even.
Oh.
Several guys came down from there who'd worked up there. A girl who works in our home has been with us for 20 years. She's from Mwega, from Nyeri, so. And she raised the girls pretty much.
Clearly.
She was the girl.
Yeah.
And her children and our children played together, had birthday parties together. So that's going back a long way. So,
yeah.
So it was nice. It's been a nice, lovely mix. And I still enjoy going back up there because it's like going to another home that I once had.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Still
to the cold from here.
From this to the cold, yeah. But it's not really that cold.
No, it's terrible.
I got sent a picture and there was that lovely mist you get over the Aberdares. And I thought,
you don't even see each other in the morning.
No,
like,
I know.
I
did. I got to admit, I did come out of shorts for a while there. I went into longs for a short time.
And mittens and everything. No, I'm not doing that again.
But no, it's a beautiful part of the world. Yeah, lovely people and very housey and very fond memories of Mwega.
Yeah, when we had the. So first we were locked down, right, from March to around August, and then it was open. Yeah. Was that a good time for you, around August? No.
It was so uncertain for everybody. I'm sure even your industry. It was just uncertainty, and that uncertainty is palpable, and it's also you're thinking about what ifs. I mean, none of us knew, did we?
No.
We never knew if we were going to get hit by this pandemic very hard. And which was all sorts of fear. So very, very difficult and also to try and lead people and explain to them it's going to get better. We'll make a plan. We'll find a way. But we are finding a way. Doesn't make it any easier for them.
Did it change you in any way as a leader?
I don't know. I mean, you have to look at your resolve at the end of the day because you've got to dig in and make horrible choices. Awful choices, and they're not choices I ever want to make again. And I continue to have to make choices I don't want to make. But I mean, we're forever in meetings with the staff and with the management, and it's a tough world. And I think I'm not the only one going through it.
No.
I mean, by any manner of means.
Yeah.
And everybody in this industry and other industries will say it's just awful. But we're all going through it together. But I believe as a nation, I think we've got an incredible inner depth and strength that will pull it through. So I believe if any country's going to come out better, it'll be Kenya.
Oh, why?
We have a resolve. We have a sort of a deeper strength that doesn't. It's the same as the friendliness. It goes beyond just the normal stuff, the materialism. Why haven't I got that? Why haven't I got that? Even you see a child playing here, a bit like I was talking to you earlier when I talked about my childhood. You see a guy running along with a stick and a bit of plastic that's a wheel. He's having far more fun, and he has a much greater appreciation of life than so many kids who've been given everything. And that's why we produce so many artists, both musically and raw art, because there's this much freer way of thinking and living and enjoying and then sort of embracing life, which I think too many people in other nations are too wrapped up in thinking about themselves only. I think got it right here.
You're right. I see it. Living here, one is you can't see it unless you have such a conversation with somebody else who has a different perspective. So I see what you mean. Yeah, we do have a resolve indeed. Anyway, we'll take a short break. As we take the drinks that you have so graciously offered us. And
absolutely welcome.
Thank you. When we return, we get to hear more from Damian. Don't go too far. Welcome back. It's What's Your Story? We're here at Turtle Bay Beach Club, speaking with the general manager, Mr. Damian Davies, who is Kenyan. Well,
as good as. I've been here for 33 years, and I arrived when I was a 25-year-old. So my 58 and 33 of them have been here. So it's for home. It is my home.
This is home. Do you miss Britain, London? But what's the right? Is it UK, Britain, or London? Which
Whatever.
one is
I
it?
suppose I get to call it UK. I'm England, UK. I was from the Midlands originally, but lived in London latterly, so it's the UK really. It's a bigger set of things. So no, honestly, just family. Just miss my family, if anything, because I don't see that much of them. Obviously, living out here, especially with COVID times. But no, home is here. My children's home is here. My youngsters, unfortunately, are over there at the moment, trying to cut their teeth in industry. But this is home, and I will always see this as home.
This is home. 33 years. My goodness.
Looking good on it, aren't they?
No, totally. I mean, you said it, but no, you really are. So, what are the fun things that, because everyone I'm talking to about Watamu, everyone says, you should come to Watamu. This is the place to be. This is the hidden gem. This is this. This is that. And I'm like, oh, is it?
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, you've got the marine park, you've got the sort of water sports element of it, but you're also very close to things like safari. You're very close to a beautiful forest, stunning beaches. You were surprised that there were turtles. There's incredible. There's a turtle protection centre called Local Ocean Trust. It's just down the road, and they do a lot of work with the turtles. Have guys checking them all the time. That's worth going to see. Visits to the marine park. Visits to Meader Creek, which is a stunning water space we have, which is calm 99% of the year, which is round the back of Watamu.
Okay.
So there's so much to do. You could easily fill a 2 or 3 week holiday, but most people have to do it on a weekend at the moment. There's also mountain biking. A lot of people do mountain biking around here now. And biking's a big thing in Kenya, and we have a lot of trails and stuff around here. So many, and as I said earlier, the water sports we have here.
Yes.
Kite surfing, windsurfing, diving, snorkeling. There's if you're into activity, there's no shortage of it.
Yet when driving in, you don't feel as though that's there.
No, I know what you mean. When you're coming in through an area that's developed the way Dabaso and Watamu has, no, but it is very much there. But you have to scrape below the surface. It's like there's a huge number of very good restaurants of all types scattered around, but it's getting to know them.
You need to know.
You need a guide, guidebook. I'll give you that.
You will. Do you attract, what's your highest percentage, local, international clientele?
Right now it's 99% local.
Oh.
But we've always had a very strong resident following for the last 15, 20 years, which has grown over the years and changed, and culturally changed, because I think the travelling population within Kenya has changed hugely, and people have moved towards the sort of modular family. From rather than going up to the home area for their holidays, they started to move out as individual families, and we saw more and more of that over the last. Well, I've been here for 18 years, and I've seen that change greatly, and it's fabulous to see families, and many of the families have. We've got a person who got married here in this year, and he grew up as a child here, so he remembers people in our fun-based centre when he was a child, and he actually ended up getting married, having a massive wedding here. So
wow.
And that was very. It made us all feel very proud that he'd chosen this place. He'd sort of grown up as his little holiday home.
Yeah.
And he decided to come back and get married here.
Nice. So you've been here, Turtle, for 18 years?
18 years. 2003 I took over here.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of change since then.
And you didn't want to leave?
No, I mean it's a lovely place to live. Possibly because it is so such a lovely place. It makes you a little less ambitious. So I probably could have gone on and strode on and become group operations director somewhere, but it's such a lovely place to live. It was where I started off, and I've come back to, and it's a home. It's a proper home, and I love it in Watamu.
So how do you?
And Malindi, Watamu, all very nice.
How do you compete with the hotel that you came to open many years ago?
We don't compete.
I like that.
It's on a very different footing. It offers something for a very different clientele. Ours is much more family orientated, family fun.
Yes.
It's a little bit more upmarket and different, and it just offers a different. I mean, different people want different things at different stages in their lives.
Yes.
We quite interestingly see we used to see a lot of families come through here, and when the children got to 13, they were growing out of the fun base and the scene, and then the parents had the opportunity to say, okay, we don't actually need the whole all-inclusive thing, so let's go and find somewhere nice for us, and the kids can do their own thing. You know what I mean? So
yes.
it has a sort of its own life within
Yes.
its what people require. And I've seen many families grow through the hotel and grow on. You feel a little bit sad when they move on, but you understand that that's the natural progression for any family as to what they're going to want to do.
Yeah, opening the door for the next family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a cycle. It's a cycle. I see how that's possible. What kind of community work are you involved in?
Oh, we actually, from quite an early stage when the hotel, prior to my arrival, but something we've embraced and carried through, we actually have a communities officer. So because there was, when all-inclusive first came to this country, there was a fear that what the hotels, businesses were doing were trying to internalise all the business.
Okay.
So not allow any of the business out. So in order to try and sort of mitigate that, what we did was we created a communities officer who was proactively involved in setting up community programs from within. And Travellers Philanthropy is huge if it's harnessed correctly, and you can get a lot going. We've got very involved in lots of schools projects, orphanages, etc. So there's been a huge output from us, which we've managed. Some of the clients get involved in directly, which can get a little bit difficult because they don't quite understand the way everything works, and so sometimes you need to manage monies when they're going out. But and we've evolved and carried on with that program throughout. It's been much more difficult with COVID, but it's something we're obviously looking forward to getting back involved.
Oh, schools and orphanages. That is quite
schools,
something.
orphanages, hospitals, clinics, all sorts.
Within this community?
Largely within the immediate community. Sometimes we've moved out. We have, for example, one small item, but every year we have a big raffle and draw and auction at Christmas, and we select a project each year that we think is deserving of a lump sum. So maybe it's getting water to a school in the hinterland, putting a roof on a school between here and Savo, we did one year. There was a very good water project after all the flooding, which was being done by World Vision, who are regular clients of ours, conferencing, and their projects always show exactly how the money's being spent, so it was a good way to do it. So lots of different ideas. We're always looking for new things to do and different ways to harness the Travellers Philanthropy and also make a difference.
Yeah. So if I was a stranger or tourist in town and I say, what's Turtle Bay good for? Why should I come to Turtle Bay? What would your answer be?
Family, friendly, fun, relaxed. It's basically as the beach should be. We don't try to be too over the top on rules and regulations and things like that. It's all about relaxing, kicking back and enjoying yourself. And if you're coming with a family, we've got the fun base. They'll try and look after your children so you can get to read a book, which you don't often do with children.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. So what would you attribute your, 18 years of success to?
I would put a larger part of that down onto the team I've got around me. I mean, you're the general manager, you actually do very little a lot of the day. You're basically just bouncing off what the team are doing. And I think it's having a strong team and a bunch of people who you can rely on and they can rely on you to have their back. And it's, I think too often managers don't get given enough rope to make mistakes, because you've got to make mistakes in order to get better. But some people are a bit hard on mistakes, and I think you've got to allow people to make mistakes in order to then say, I made a mistake there, how can I do it better?
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of it. And I think it's down to creating and fostering a good team.
I like that. And how do you handle feedback that's not necessarily positive?
Painfully. No, I think you've got to live with that. And I mean, particularly now, I think a lot of hotels will be struggling in that we've not, for example, had any opportunity to spend money on our rooms and our public areas and stuff. So we're all hurting a bit because we want to do that. But you just got to say, we understand. If you have a problem with it, we'd rather learn from it, understand your problem, and it's something we can work on and improve on, then we need to do that. So it's hugely important to take any feedback positively, even though it hurts.
Yeah, even though it hurts. I
I
like
mean,
that.
your teachers at school used to sometimes give you the kiboko, but you have to learn from what they were saying. And as an adult and as someone in charge of people, you just have to really make the biggest effort to turn the negative into a positive.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes that hurts, but it's got to be done.
It has to be done. And actually, customers appreciate feedback.
Yeah.
As opposed to being ignored.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
so
And they want to give feedback, you know. And Kenyan customers are very quick to give feedback. You find a lot of overseas people, the silent complainer they call them, will go away, say nothing, but then write a stinker of a report, not having given you any chance to
self-correct.
speak up. And so you almost then feel, well, why didn't you tell me at the time? And but no, the Kenyans are very strong on giving feedback at the time, and often very fair.
Yeah, no, it's true. Have you had any accolades all that time? From commendations, accolades, anything?
Yeah, well, we've had, when we used to get various Silver Star awards for various things, and a lot of, because we did a lot of eco work, we recycle 100% of our water, we do composting. It's one of the community projects we used to do was composting and then creating, doing nurseries for local guys to take plants out. So our eco work used to get us a lot of brownie points in the eco world, and we were gold rated as an eco. We were the first coastal large hotel to be gold rated under the eco rating. So, but we put a lot of time into it. I mean, a lot of time and a lot of investment, but it pays dividends because just water recycling. It's a big investment initially, but it's well worth doing.
It is, and I think the customer is now getting more discerning about the environment and things like climate change. I mean, it's all in the same family, and so the same way now we are.
100%. I think people are looking and saying, what is the impact of this place? What is the footprint? And particularly in this country, I mean, we're very eco-aware here. More so than I'd say in a lot of Europe. The people genuinely understand what's going on and want to make a difference. Don't want to see what they've got spoiled. Like
that. What do you do to unwind? I know it's such a blunt question because you unwind every day, don't you?
Absolutely. I never get wound up, so I don't need to unwind. I'm living here. No, I mean, what do I do to unwind? I jump on my bike and I just go off into the bush, and that's what I love doing. I used to play more rigorous sports. I play hockey. We have a little hockey group that plays hockey here twice a week.
Okay.
I try to stay away from the bar, but I often fail. But no, we've got having been here for quite a long time, I've got a very good little, it's quite a nice circle of friends. And it's as you said, there's so many things you can do to unwind in the area, but and without spending a lot of money, you know, beautiful beach, swimming, enjoying the space because it's such a beautiful space.
Do you go on holiday?
My wife often says we've never been away on holiday. We never go on holiday. It's a bit because I mean, so much of our leave has also been taken up with getting back to visit family, or getting children to the next stage of what they're doing. So we go away. In terms of real holidays. As people would say, oh, we're off on holiday tomorrow, work stops and I go, and we go to stay in a cottage
like where
somewhere.
Would you go anyway? We come here.
I love going up country, actually. I do enjoy it.
Countryside?
Yeah, lovely. Nyeri, Nanyuki, Gilgil, I love all those places. It's a change of climate. It's
the cold places.
Lots of places in Kenya I want to visit. I'm dying to get up to see Kakamega, the forest up there. Lots of places I'd like to go and see, and I've climbed Mount Kenya a couple of times with my children when they were at school, which was amazing. Beautiful place. You've been up there? It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, there's so many. The amazing thing about this country is there's so many different climates and so many different types of vegetation. You could holiday every 6 months and you'd never run out of places. So
so
even here we've got the forests behind. We go and watch elephants at night.
The elephants here.
There's elephants here, 25 minutes from where we're sitting. Forest elephant coming to the Arabuka.
So there's wildlife in Watamu.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Amazing.
Not just the stuff underwater as well.
And the sea stuff. Okay, so as we wind up, Damian, what's the next thing for Turtle Bay first? For you, I won't even ask because you're already at home. So
we just want to get out of this pandemic and get on to the next phase and rejuvenate and move forward, because we've got such an amazing physical product, natural product here. We've just got to make sure that Turtle Bay is still around and still kicking and making people happy for years to come and generations to come.
Yeah. How do you stay up to date with innovation? Because then also the client that you're attracting now is a bit more aware, they're becoming a bit more sensitive, they're looking for, even if I'm used to coming to this place every year.
Yeah.
What's the innovation that you may or may not have planned?
I think that the client is becoming more discerning, as you said. It's they're looking for more and more from their stay, and I not just through social media, but through they're being exposed to a lot more. So I think you do have to start to think menu-wise and everything-wise that you are dealing with a much more eclectic menu. And we've also changed. The client base has gone from, let's say, in the late 90s was very much a packaged tourist holiday for a large part of the season, and now we have a lot more inter-Africa travel, and they have a completely different expectation of what they're going to get from not just the food buffet, but the buffet of entertainment and what they require to make theirs a fuller and more enjoyable holiday.
So you're constantly innovating.
Having to look for new things, yeah.
You have to. Okay. Do you work together as a team with the hotels? No.
Oh, the
hotels.
Yeah. We interact. There's always friendly rivalry, should we call it that? But no, we all work very closely on a number of platforms. I mean, obviously security is something we work very closely on. We have a very secure area here because we have a.
Oh, it's safe?
Oh, very. We have a local neighbourhood watch called Watamu Against Crime, which is supported by all the institutions, all the restaurants. Everybody's involved with it, and all the boda riders, the beach operators. Everybody buys into the ethos of security is everybody's responsibility, and they all understand that, and they get very proactively involved when there's any issues. So it's that the community is very strong from that perspective, and I think so. Yes, we work together as institutions, but we also try to work as strongly as we can with all the communities, because we're all part and parcel of the one thing.
Yeah.
And if one part of it starts to fail, we all fail.
It all fails.
Yeah, you have to.
I think including the community is really critical.
No, massively.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Great conversation. Your final words before we say goodbye?
Well, I can't wait to see Kenya back where it was before all this pandemic, but I know it's got the inner and outer strength to be there and glowing in the years to come. So I'm just looking forward to being part of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking forward to spending the night here.
Lovely.
Thank you so much for
Nice
gracing our show, Damian. Thank you so much. And to you watching, thank you for making the time. We are at Turtle Bay Beach Club in Watamu, Kilifi County. And the show goes right up on YouTube after this, and a repeat on Wednesday next week. Until then, stay safe.